All right, we're continuing the conversation that we had this past week. One of the common terms in building success and being successful is the know, like, and trust conversation. So I covered knowing and liking earlier this week. And so if you want to find those, I have taken the audio and posted it to the podcast, thebledsowshow.com, or you can go check out iTunes and Stitcher and all that stuff. And if you want to see it on YouTube, you can check it out there. And I'm posting it everywhere. And so it's on IGTV as well. So today is the trust conversation, the final pillar in this know, like, trust deal. And so it's really easy to build trust. It's very, well, I don't know if it's easy. It's simple. And so, first thing I want to cover is trust is not earned. Trust is not broken. The way I see trust is it is either granted or withdrawn. And so the person that has all the power around trust has to do with the other person. And so it is definitely, you can definitely do things to have other people grant you trust, and you can also do things that would cause them to withdraw. But I really don't like the conversation around breaking trust and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing about trust is, here's some really simple rules. As a coach, as a business owner, as anybody in the world, rule number one, be on time. If you're gonna say you're gonna do something, do it. Finish what you start. These are all things that build trust. When you do not do these things, when you don't show up on time, when you don't finish what you start, when you don't keep your word, when you say you're gonna do something and you don't do it, how can people trust you? And nobody, that's what you're gonna find, is people want to trust you. Now, here's the other thing. Not only if you're a coach and you're coaching athletes and you're running a business or whatever, and you wanna earn somebody's business, not only do they need to trust that you will be on time, you'll finish what you start, you'll do what you say you're gonna do, you're gonna have integrity. Not only do you need to have those things in place, but they need to trust that you can get them what it is you're telling them that you can get them. You can deliver the product, the service, to get them the result that they really want. Now, how are they gonna trust you for that? Well, if you can't show up on time, and if you can't, there's some big ass dogs up there. If you can't show up on time, and you can't finish what you start, and you don't do what you say, none of the other conversations even matter. It doesn't matter how skilled you are at what you do. So now you may have built their trust in, like, okay, this is a trustworthy human being. I will grant them the trust for things. Now you have to build trust for what it is you're offering specifically. And so what I've found is it's one thing to vouch for yourself. Now, if you cover the bases and you're a trustworthy human and you make claims about what you can and can't do, people will believe you. Because it comes down to being believable or not. So the other thing is if you don't have a lot of rapport with whoever it is you're wanting to serve or coach or whatever, I recommend that the testimonial or the referral is the best way to do it. So the next best way to build trust is to have other people vouch for you. Because one thing, anyone can go out and say anything and lie and can make all sorts of claims, but when other people start vouching for you, and people who are trustworthy are vouching for you, that is a really great way to for people to grant you that trust. So this is the know, like, and trust conversation, and I really do think that trust is that simple in regard to having other people trust you. If you want to trust other people, like I said before, it is a matter of being granted or withdrawn. And if you are not granting trust to people, you'll never be able to trust them. You have to start trusting them in order for it to kick in. Now, you may decide, hey, I want to withdraw my trust from so-and-so because of this. That's fine. That's totally up to you. And I highly recommend, if there's any confusion about that, I think the best way to have the I've withdrawn my trust conversation is, instead of making the claim that somebody broke your trust, is to go to them and say, look, when you did this, I found that in my book is not trustworthy, so I'm withdrawing my trust now. And it's a lot easier for the person to hear than to say you broke my trust, because when someone does something that causes you to withdraw your trust, they're really not going to hear you, because they did not intend to break your trust. No one goes around going, I'm going to break so-and-so's trust today. So it's usually not intentionally, the behavior, whatever it is not intentionally meant to, have people withdraw trust, but a lot of times that's the result. And I found that to be a much better way of handling that conversation. So, wrapping up the know, like, and trust conversation, we got the know, the like on IGTV, got on the podcast, all that stuff. And I go really deep into these topics and exactly how to do it with the Strong Coach program, which is launching on Friday. So if you want to get in on that, make sure you go over to thestrongcoach.com, get on that wait list. And if you're listening to this in the future, you might be able to straight up register. So I will see you there. Later.